Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Adult Game Reviews. This month we have a compilation video voted on by my backers. What did they want? They wanted a list of complete games. Believe it or not, there are a ton of completed games out there, and this is part 2 of a 3-part series. I have over 60 games on my list, and this one has more than 20. Not all these games are games that I like personally, but there are people out there that do. Now, if you want to get all 60 games, you can check out my Patreon or Subscribestar. If you want all the links in this video, you can check out the public post on my Patreon. The link for my Subscribestar is in my link tree, and my Patreon is patreon.com/Adult Game Reviews. You can find that in the description. Okay, so just like in part 1, I'm not going to go through all these games in a deep way just because of how many there are on the list. All these games are either available on Steam, GOG, Patreon, or itch. And if you see this icon, it's Steam. If you see this one, it's GOG. This one's Patreon, and this one's itch. If you don't see any icon, then it's on all 4. Okay, let's kick it off with Sinner's Landing by Flexible Media. I played an earlier build of this and I thought it was still too early in development at the time, but good news! It just released on the 24th of November. From the pretty visuals, sometimes fun minigames, and deep lore, I'm looking forward to finally finishing this one. I'm honestly hoping it really lives up to the hype. Okay, next, it's Become a Rockstar by Mr. Jet. This is another one I reviewed a while back, and I thought it had issues, like the inconsistent writing, sometimes confusing plot, but I absolutely loved Lisa and Selena. There was also a number of endings to unlock, which I also enjoyed, so this was a mixed bag for me, but there are a lot of people out there who love it. Moving on to The Entrepreneur by Mr. Maya. I've really enjoyed his new game Law School, but Mr. Maya started with The Entrepreneur. I thought the writing in The Entrepreneur really held it back from a clarity and plot standpoint. There were times things kind of just happened that could be confusing. However, if you understand French, I feel like this game is probably great in Mr. Maya's native language. Either way, I'm glad it's complete. It gives me a lot of hope for Law School. Moving on to The Interim Domain by ILS Productions. I really enjoyed Now and Then, but I never got around to playing The Interim Domain. From what I heard, it's a very solid sci-fi game where you're tasked with helping people move on after death, I think. If you played The Interim Domain, let us know what you think down below. I'll be checking the comments to see if it's something I should still cover at this point. However, please, no spoilers. Next is all the NTR Man games. NTR Man has so many completed short contained stories. Yes, all with an NTR theme. Everything from the Adelaide Inn to Chona to Seasons of Loss. All touch upon certain aspects of Naturare and Naturase. If you like the themes, you can for sure find something that you personally like. You can get all his games on his Patreon or his own website. Moving on to another game I covered in my spooky games list, and that's Myst by 395 Games. I genuinely enjoyed Myst. You have turn-based combat, an engaging story, and a world to explore. This is one of the first horror games I covered on my channel, and it still holds up today. Likely the weakest part is the inconsistent renders, but another one of my favorites. Moving on to one of my most hated games, and that's Villain's Legacy. There is so much about this game I don't enjoy, from the grindy world, the poorly written story, and the incredibly unlikable MC. This one's just not for me. However, the game was obviously popular enough for a sequel to be in the works, and honestly, it looks really good. I'm hoping the sequel is much better because the whole premise is fantastic. I mean, who doesn't want to play the villain every once in a while? I'm here crossing my fingers hoping for a better execution. Now, it's time for Aurelia by Mithral. This is a pixel art fantasy game with monsters and turn-based combat system. Aurelia is genuinely a good game with a kind of mix of genres. You have elves, fairies, and a whole world to explore. If you enjoy the art style, this is one that will give you many hours of content. So the next game I think is complete, but I had a hard time confirming it, and that's Midnight Paradise by L Labs. I know Midnight Paradise is on version 1.1, but according to the Patreon, it's still a work in progress with expansions and DLCs. So if you're looking to check this one out, double check my work on that. If you like a story that explores your relationships between tenant and landlords, then you will like this. FYI, you can't change the titles to make more sense, if you know what I mean. Now, a bit of a controversial one, and that's Sunshine Love by Mr. Dot's Games. Sunshine Love for many people is a great game that explores different relationships in a slice of life kind of way. There are 3 chapters you can buy off of Steam or Patreon. However, similar to Shale Hill Secrets, chapter 3 you're really just purchasing the endings. Personally, I'm not a fan of this, but it's up to you. Next is Game of Hearts by Spark HG. This one releases on Steam in the middle of December, but you can check out the dev's Patreon for the completed version. This is a very visually pretty game with a mind-reading trope. There is a war going on, and with your your powers to read minds, you can turn the tides. I haven't played this one yet, but I'm going to bump it up my list when it releases to Steam. Next is all the NLT Media games: El Epidemic, Treasure of Nadia, and the Genesis Order. NLT Media is one of the handful of devs I trust to complete their games. All of them take place in the same kind of world, but each with its own standalone story. You can find all the NLT Media games pretty much anywhere. If you haven't played them, you're in for hours and hours of gameplay. Next is College Kings 1 from Undergrad Steve. There are so many people that consider College Kings 1 the grandfather of all the college-themed VNs. This one even predates BAD. Now, the reviews of College Kings 2 are mixed, with some people loving it and some people hating it. However, one that I will always think of fondly is College Kings 1. You can get College Kings on Steam and the College Kings website. Lastly, we have another collection, and those are all the games by Talothrall. Now, I'm not terribly familiar with them, but that isn't because of anything specifically negative. It's just hard for me to keep up with all the games that exist. Talothrall has 3 completed VNs: Terminus Reach Sentinel, Terminus Reach 2, and Sorcerer. The Terminus Reach games are sci-fi, with Sorcerer being urban fantasy. You can actually download all their games for free via their blogspot. If you like them, think about throwing the dev a few bucks on his Patreon. I will put the links on my public post on the Adult Game Review Patreon, and if you played them, let me know what you think down below. Okay, that's the end of part 2. With all the collections, I lose count as to how many completed games are actually on this list. But if the game is loved by someone, I will try to include it, so stay tuned for part 3, which I will try to release in the next few weeks. I want to thank all my backers. If it wasn't for you guys, none of this would be possible. And if you haven't seen my review of Fresh Women Season 2, you can check it out right here. Thanks again. Until next time.